Welcome to WEFM's 3 p.m. news. I am your presenter, Jessica Klein. First on the local scene. The Fisheries Department within the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, Fisheries, Rural Transformation, Industry and Labor has confirmed instances of coral bleaching in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Minister of Agriculture Sabato Caesar made this disclosure during his address on World Food Day. Minister Caesar was at the time discussing the harsh impacts that recent extreme heat has had on the agriculture sector in SVG. He noted that this increase in water temperatures, which is brought on by global warming, will eventually lead to an increase in the price of fish on the local market. Minister Caesar said that significant bleaching of the coral reefs will lead to a breakdown of the ecosystem in the form of the migration of fish, which he says could see fishermen traveling further distances to catch these fish using more fuel in the process. The Garifuna Heritage Foundation, in collaboration with the University of the West Indies Global Campus, SVG will be hosting its 11th International Garifuna Conference in Kingstown, St. Vincent and the Grenadines from March 11th to 13th, 2024. This 11th International Garifuna Conference is intended to further contribute to the development of a research and action project proposal, which will directly engage indigenous communities and others in the Caribbean, including Garifuna communities in Europe, Central America, the United States, and elsewhere, in the structuring, development, promotion, and implementation of an Indigenous Peoples Development Plan by 2030. The first international conference was held in March of 2012 here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and resulted in the European Declaration, which specifically made a call for reparations for the Garifuna people. CARICOM has since established a commission to secure reparations for native genocide and slavery. Still on the local scene, all citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines should aim for a society with limited crime. This is according to SVG's Attorney General Grenville Williams during the opening ceremony of a crime scene management course last week. Mr. Williams said that all Vincentians should aim for a society where there is respect for life and where conflict resolution is at the core of our DNA and psych conflict. The Attorney General also said there must be a clear national policy and strategy for the police force to combat crime. He said that it is important the general public of St. Vincent and the Grenadines feels the presence of the members of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force. The Attorney General said, "I believe that the mere presence of a marked police vehicle on the road will make an impact. For example, if a driver is speeding on the road and he or she sees a police vehicle in the distance, that will change his or her behavior or conduct." He emphasized the importance of the role of the nation's police officers and commended them for their service to the RSVGPF and their country. On the regional scene, following the announcement of the temporary relief of sanctions imposed by the United States on the Venezuelan energy industry, Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro said the country is entering the oil and gas market with renewed strength. It has to do with the issuance of 4 general licenses to suspend certain sanctions imposed on selected sectors. In a speech, President Maduro said, "Venezuela, with these agreements and these decisions that have been taken, enters with strength again the oil and gas markets in a progressive manner." The President of the National Assembly, George Rodriguez, who heads the Venezuelan delegation in the negotiations, informed that the licenses granted refer to activities of production and sale of oil and gas for and from Venezuela, to the mining sector, especially gold, to the training of bongs, as well as to commercial licenses of Venezuelan companies in the United States. Still on the regional scene, Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness, has declared that the country, under his administration will never go back to an addiction of borrowing money. The Jamaican Prime Minister, while addressing a town hall meeting in Ottawa, Canada, said that they have put in place very strong institutions to ensure it is not heavily reliant on the borrowing of money. According to the Prime Minister, the island's debt to GDP was 150%, and the country was paying as high as 70% of every dollar for debt servicing. The Prime Minister said that thanks to the work of his administration, the nation's debt is going to be about 74% of GDP at the end of this financial year. He said there was also a time when the country's reserves were less than $1 billion and the ability to import seemed to have been at risk. Currently, he said Jamaica's reserves are the highest they have ever been, which he said is almost 4.5 billion US dollars. Finally, on the international scene, the United States of America has called on Israel to delay its ground invasion of the Gaza Strip. This comes as reports say that hundreds of people are being killed as Israel continues to pound the Palestinian enclave. According to Al Jazeera, the Joe Biden administration has advised Israel delay its invasion plan to allow time for the release of hostages and shipments of aid into Gaza. Meanwhile, Israeli air attacks on Gaza have intensified. Some 400 Palestinians have been killed in the last 24 hours, according to Palestinian health officials. The Hamas-controlled government media office in the blockaded Gaza Strip said in a statement that more than 60 people were killed in the Israeli raids overnight. At least 10 other people were killed in further attacks on Monday morning, the media office said in a separate statement, bringing the overall death toll since Sunday night to at least 70. This has been WEFM's 3 p.m. news. I have been your presenter, Jessica Klein. Join us again at 5:30 p.m. for WEFM's evening news, and we thank you for listening.